Well, hello dear friends to Headsville Roll, the Reforged. Today we're going to play something new. I've taken some kind of visual novel slash RPG simulator. I don't know much what to expect of that. We will see. Regardless, I checked the settings and put adult content off, so because I don't feel brave. But, well, let's get into it. New game. What's your name? Zentarin. Hetzville Roll has a complex combat system that might take some time to understand and master. Thus, if it's your first time playing, we strongly suggest choosing an easier difficulty, hard, and what is this, holy HWR modes will present a real challenge aimed at experienced players only. Well, I will listen here the advice. Let's go to normal then. Although, or roguelike. So what does it say on story mode? Unchallenging mode for story enjoyers who are not interested in combat and survival aspect. Well, that would be me, but I cannot do this, come on. Enemies are severely weakened, no. Combat is simplified, well, that I take. Gold is plentiful, not sure how to feel about that. Lots of time in between battles, as it should be. Game can be saved at any moment, I like that. What about normal? Less difficult mode. Enemies are less aggressive, okay. Stamina and fatigue recovery is simplified, I take it. And generous gold rewards, not sure. Game can be saved at any time, that's important. Fair fights. Okay, let's go for here though. Normative. Create your character. What do you mean? Militiaman. So there's a strength, agility, endurance, coordination, vitality, and craftsmanship. Strength, inventory size. Damage done by strength-based attacks. Your chance to stun and shield bash. Well, for some knight, strength should be important. What about agility, dodge? Dodge chance. Well, it does not actually affect, the chance to hit, which is important. Endurance, dodge, fatigue. Coordination, stamina recovery, throw accuracy. Well, I guess looking at the stamina, it might be pretty important. Vitality, injury resistance. Oh, what do we do here? I have nothing. You roll here? Really? This is all rolling. Do you get like a best total? So here I would have, for instance, 5. And there I have 4 and 3. Now I have 7. Let's see, I have 7, 8. Oh my god, I didn't want to do that. Well, we were born that way. A breakout of yet another war between England and France was barely a surprise to anyone. The rivalry between the two kingdoms has lasted for more than a century, and a small but regular armed conflicts have become commonplace for them. This war seemed to many to be an ordinary event, but the English king had other plans. This time he had no interest in lesser goals and aimed as high as to ascend to the throne of France himself, using its ongoing dynasty crisis as a casus belli. War preparation started by Edward III have suppressed any of his past military campaigns. Understanding the scope of his ambitions, The King of England did not delude himself. The war that he was about to embark on was going to be the greatest in history, and for an undertaking like that, a proper army was in order. The king began gathering forces long before declaring the war. Long negotiations and uncounted secret agreements bolstered the royal army, with numerous allies as well as mercenaries from all over Europe. The core of his forces, as it has always been, was constituted by the best of England's chivalry, eagerly awaiting their chance to finally outshine the French chevaliers and claim their laurels of the best in the world. I think the English in this were the cunning bowmen. They didn't have much chivalry. They had smarts. For the honorable knights, this coming war was also an opportunity to amass wealth of its spoils and bask in the glory of victorious battle. You too ended up among the ranks of the king's countless soldiers, but unlike the knights and mercenaries eagerly enlisting out of their own will, you, a peasant son, did not have much of a choice, as beside professional warriors, the army also required those to do its dirty work, both in a meaning of digging ditches and being able to give up their lives for dirt cheap. Yeah, I think in this medieval battles, if they had casualties, they didn't count peasants, they only counted the noblemen, or, some men of a record who would die there. So it's always trouble to reconstruct these battles because they didn't do the records properly. By royal decree, a militia force was drafted from the free folk. Many wealthier people were able to bribe their way out of service, but you, coming from a poor family, had no such opportunity, and thus you received a royal gift for your 18th birthday, an unexpected journey to the shores of France. Weapon in hand, well, probably better than the other way around, from France to the England. Weapon in hand, you suddenly find yourself treading on unfriendly soil. You wonder whether you will ever see your home again. Prologue, a journey begins. Welcome to the Hatsville Roll Reforged. Soon you will embark on your first adventure, but before you do, we have to warn you, not all risks are worth taking and not all fights are worth fighting, my words. Blindly charging forward without considering the circumstances and consequences is the fastest way to get yourself killed. Hatsville Roll will try to present the player with a lot of difficult choices, but your answers will never be right or wrong. There's always something to lose and something to gain, no matter the choice. A good strategy for success is to approach the adventure with the intent to simply survive rather than become a hero. Don't go on dangerous endeavors if you are not confident in your success, as you may be severely punished for unpreparedness. Some quests will fail, some characters you meet will grow to hate or despise you, and sometimes you will have to flee from a battle in order to save your life. Don't let these things bother you too much, as your real goal is to make it to the very end in one piece. Man, this sounds hardcore. And last but not least, remember to keep track of time. Training, shopping, adventuring, and completing quests will all consume you. Neglect one too much in favor of the others, and you are in for unpleasant surprise. You have received a salary in accordance with your rank. 65 florins. Oh my god, a fortune. You received a bonus payment in accordance with your prestige level. 0. Oh, so let's save it first. Alright, so character, let's look at a character. So I have strength and agility. And some vitality. Stamina recovery is 9. Virtue is known. Fresh. Fatigue builds up with every action a character takes. As it reaches higher levels, the character becomes increasingly less effective. Weapon talents. What is Casanova? Allows you to what? Civic talents. Allows you to visit brothel for free. I don't want this. Come on. Let's do the guy again. Can I? New game, main menu. Alright, normal. Random roll, but shows you nothing, maybe here. Oh wow, this seemed to be very high. A wooden flail, polite crossbow, poor man's pouch. Well, I think this is a lot of point. Alright, you've seen this. So, what is it now? For civic talents? Well, none at all. Good. I wonder what is there? Acrobat? Beast of Burden. Casanova Colossus. That would be quite good. Gambler, good manager. Maybe we will suffer for not having some talents. Master of Poisons. Thief, a woodsman. This would be nice. Alright, so I think what's in the inventory? Wooden flail. Damage 8. Regular attack costs stamina. Required strength. Attacks better. What about crossbow? Oh, I can equip that. Equip this too. I have one bolt, really? Equip. Yeah, I'm equipped now. Relationship, nobody. Renown, nobody. Okay. Donkey Castle. I would say train, right? Let's train. Through training, you can improve the various skills and attributes of your character. Keep in mind that training both consumes time and rapidly builds fatigue. If you do not want to start a battle in a disadvantageous position, then do not forget to properly rest. Well, no train, no pain, no gain. Oh, it costs money. Solo practice. Sparring. Exhausting, very exhausting. Let's do a solo practice. What talents? Well, training with a crossbow. Solo practice. What happened? Your proficiency with melee weapons has increased. On the last legs. Wow, we are really tired. So let's rest. Let's pray or socialize. Let's pray here for recovery. You have spent time in solitude and prayers. To hang around. Well, let's try to talk to blacksmith. Who are you and what do you need? I'm looking for a blacksmith. Well, you found him and he has his hands full. Now spit it out or get lost and don't distract me from work. I need to repair my equipment. I don't. I think you have it mixed up, boy. Do I look like personal blacksmith? Damn knights have already buried us to our throats in their broken junk. We are all sweating our asses off, and here you come asking. I'm not asking you to help me for free. I'm willing to pay well for a job well done. Huh, what a smartass. I would gladly pay for a job well done from my own pocket. It's a shame there's no one around who can actually do that. Let's make a deal. You do 3 shifts at the forge to help me out and I will take a look at your junk. I will pay you for every shift too. If your hands aren't actually growing out of your ass, you might even earn some decent coin. Now, quest edit. New quest edit. Labor. Working at the forge is a camp activity that acts as temporary part-time job. Unlike other activities, this one increases your fatigue instead of lowering it. Ooh. However, forge duty increases your craftsmanship and earns you some money, with the amount depending on your craftsmanship. Working at the forge has been added to your camp activities. Let's go to camp activities. Yeah, socialize, hang around, or socialize with now Errol. Isn't that too much? Let's go with sergeant. Your squad is led by an old sergeant, the battered soldier who fought under the Errol during the King's ill-fated Scottish campaign. Despite his grumbling and an always dissatisfied look, the sergeant treats the soldiers very well and tries to make sure that everything is in order. You find him doing the usual cleaning weapons. Noticing you, he looks up inquiringly. Oh, he has a scar. He has a scar like vertical or also horizontal. Also on his arms here. So, listen up. Ask about the war, he will not tell us nothing. He will like bark in us, right? Tell us, youth, you don't know what you sign up for. Yeah, ask about tactics. He should talk. What do you want to know? Yeah, what weapon? What a stupid question. Naturally, everything depends on your physical ability, skills, and fighting style. Well, it doesn't seem to the answer is more like a tutorial answer rather than something immersively medieval, which is a disappointment to me. We'll see whether it's improved. Whether it improves. Since you have never held anything sharper than a table knife in your hands, let me explain to you what is what in a nutshell. No matter what they told you in childhood fairy tales about knights and their beautiful fat-assed maidens, In reality, the sword is far from the best choice on a battlefield. Yeah, I think a sword is good against targets without armor. But if they have armor like iron, some iron cutlass, maybe the Morning Star or something is better, something blunt. Also, maybe on a you want to keep some distance with a halberd. Yeah, depends on a unit, right? But if you want to go somewhere, put down the peasant rebellion, I think sword is perfectly okay. It's a decent all-round weapon, but this very versatility makes it mediocre at everything. The sword can do everything at once, but is inferior to other weapons in any era. If you're a smart fella and do not fart smell, then your choice is an axe. Well, really? This can chop the enemy into pieces so fun you can make a stew. I think sword is much better than axe, but... Yes, you can't really feint with it, and well, it requires a lot of strength, especially if you are fighting for more than a couple of minutes, but a good axe is pure power. Maybe he talks in terms of game balance. Especially in those cases when the enemy is clad in decent armor or is covering behind a shield, like a timid lass hiding behind a dress. A good axeman cannot be stopped by things like that. A couple of good swings can shatter any shield. Another solid option is some kind of club or mace, but then again, everything depends on your strength. If you are packing some serious muscle, then your strikes will be dropping people like sacks of shit. A club of mace, I would say so, especially if they have heavy-duty armor. Mace-like weapons are also very good at draining your enemy's stamina. By the way, you know what they say, one in the liver, then one to the dome. Bad guy is dead, we are going home. But all of this only applies if you can actually lift. If you're so unfamiliar with the gym that you call it James, man, yeah, I think if you're doing medieval game, you should walk the walk. At least try to. Forget axes and maces, go for something lighter. But the best option is spears, hands down. They are perfect for keeping the enemy at comfortable distance and are easy to feint with, all while slowly making Swiss cheese out of him with swift pokes. A poke here and a stab there. A couple of words about his mom and a brief mention of his sister. Hurt your enemy both physically and mentally, and victory is just around the corner. Yeah, or trigger him into such a berserk that he will bring you down along with the rest of the planet. It is what it is, boy. Yeah, ask Sergeant about how to get a good equipment. Well, if you manage to find yourself at war with your pants down, then you don't have many options. Take a look around the camp. Someone might have a spare gamberson, a chainmail, or a shield lying around. Most soldiers would be happy to sell their wear or trade loot for a shiny coin, but to find something useful among the junk is mostly a matter of luck, you know? Well, the second option, of course, is to loot it yourself. Scavenging corpses like a vulture isn't the most honorable act, but sometimes survival demands it. I try to make sure that my people are decently equipped, but I don't have time to wipe each and every one of your snotty noses, even if I wanted to. If you prove yourself a decent lad, then I will see what I can do for you. Ask the surgeon about a camp. Well, we clearly lucked out with the camp compared to what we had in Scotland. Here we will be living like kings. The camp and the surrounding areas are full of opportunities. Just keep your eyes peeled. I know that young recruits tend to get excited about the salary, but trust the old man, don't get hung up on it. You're probably thinking of returning home as a rich man and wooing the girls with luxurious gifts, but I will tell you what, boy. Do not fill your pockets with useless gold. Better to put money into business. Get yourself some decent equipment. Iron looks much less pretty than gold, yeah, but it may well save your life in battle. Buckets full of florins would be of little use. Back home, it is the hefty purse that makes a man rich, but here the rich is the one who is alive and in one piece. You will understand that soon enough. Yeah, let's talk about the war now. Talk about the war as if there's something to tell, really. The king set off on a grand campaign on the mainland. France is now at its weakest point ever, which presents a golden opportunity to claim a seizable piece of land from these frog eaters. Isn't this the time when, like a Joan of Arc, actually went into scene? I think the English managed to capture Orléans, Paris too. For France, it didn't look too good, I think. You and I, however, have nothing to rejoice about. Yes, the pay is good this time, but I strongly doubt that this war will be easy. In and out, 20-minute adventure. Good money, warm bath, and rich spoils. The last time I fell for this recruit sale pitch, I ended up in the mountains of Scotland with holes in my boots, a wart in my stomach, and an arrow in my knee. I still don't understand how I managed not to die then. The Earl and I miraculously got back alive. But we kicked the Highlanders' arses so badly, they still can't sit. Ha ha ha. Okay, what about this? Doesn't have time, okay. Until then, piss off, okay. But exactly what do you want to know? How should I behave in battle? How do I behave in battle to survive? The first thing you need to remember is caution. Generally, you need to hurry only in 2 cases in life. When you want to get to the tavern before closing, and when you are caught short. None of it, as you might guess, has anything to do with war. Make it a rule to carefully study your opponent before you act. Do not immediately rush at him. First assess the situation, look what he is armed with, what he is wearing, how he behaves in battle. Try to find his vulnerabilities and only then take the risk. Defensive action will be a good strategy against most opponents. If the enemy is aggressive, stay cool and let him swing all he wants. I guess if you can cheese it by being all defensive, they will waste their stamina. And provided they don't roll some critical strike, you will just attack with advantage, in essence. Whereas, if you attacked in the beginning, the chances would be more closer to 50-50, perhaps something like that. What he's pointing at. Use feints, knock him down with your shield, and kick his ass when you get the opportunity. Sooner or later he will get tired, and when this happens, you will crush him. However, do not forget that war is not a knighty tournament, but a cruel meat grinder. There are no rules, no honor, and the main task here is just to survive. Do not be a coward, but don't ask for trouble. Soberly assess your strength and the strength of the enemy, and I'm sure Lady Luck will smile upon thee. Alright. Well, Sergeant would know. Let's socialize with what's essentially the highest ranking dude we have around, perhaps. You and the Earl have nothing to talk about at the moment. I would guess so that the Blue Bloods wouldn't talk to every filthy peasant around. So, let's camp activities. Let's hang around. You spend some time hanging out and wandering around. Man, there's some line here. Work at the forge. You earned 5 florins. Let's go for a drink for the first money. You don't have any alcohol. Let's socialize. Let's go back. Camp physician. Let's talk to him. Wandering around the camp in search of a medic, you unexpectedly stumble upon a young girl who is in charge of one of the medical tents. Her clothes, appearance, and demeanor immediately give away the fact that she is a foreigner. As she glances over at you, her eyes dim, and she obviously loses any interest in you completely. Cecilia, I'm looking for a doctor. The thing is, I'm looking for a doctor. Okay. You found one. My name is Cecilia Grimaldi, and I'm a doctor in the service of the King of England. And you seem to be from the militia, right? Well, let's be honest here. I'm one of the militiamen from Earl Northampton's squad. My name is... You can read a complete loss of interest in you, as well as slight disgust in her facial expression the moment she hears the word militiaman. Her relationship with Cecilia lowered by 1. She rolls the eyes. It's clear that you should have started your introduction to this girl with some other interesting fact about self. Let's get straight to the point. What do you need? Ask about the healing services. If I ever need the services of a doctor, then one of the doctors will definitely help you. But it's unlikely that it will be me. I'm here to monitor the health of more important people. Most minor injuries can be healed free of charge, but if more serious medical attention is needed, then I'm afraid there will be a price. By the way, free advice: try to treat your wounds and injuries as soon as possible. You can get rid of most ailments if you deal with them in a timely manner. However, if time is lost, the consequences of a particular wound can easily become chronic, and then there would be nothing to do about it. Ask about how she ended in a war. Forgive my curiosity, but how did a girl like you end up in the war? I'm not sure this is your business. Okay, Cecilia, camp. Let's go to train. Searching for available trained offers will consume some of your time and produce several options. You can perform this action multiple times to find more items for sale. So, I don't have Well, how much for this? 65 for leather armor. Agility penalty, prestige plus 3, torso cover 70, neck armor 0. Yeah, if somebody has a leather armor, go for a neck. What else is there? Sling, poison hunting bow. But if it's some slow acting poison, then what good is it for wine? But strong ale. Let's go for wine. We are at what, 30? Consuming alcohol is a good way to relieve stress and fatigue. Can be done both inside and outside of battle. The latter, however, might bring along some side effects. Lowers duration of bleeding and light poisoning by 1. What is this for sorcery? Okay. Let's go to quests and travel. Let's train some more, like, I don't know, well, we don't have one's rest. Work it, hang around. Maybe pray. Pray is not. You spend time in solitude and prayers. Virtue increased by 1. Yeah, maybe. Socialized, so not much. Work at the forge. You earn 5 florins. Craftsmanship increased by 1. One spray. Let's go work for a forge. Let's hang around. Let's spray. This does not improve my much. You spend time in solitude and prayers. Virtue increased by 1. Self-withdrawal from the life of a regiment causes you to lose respect. Reputation with soldiers lowered. I don't care. Let's work in prayer. Isn't that like some motto? I think in these Protestant stuff, there's some good works and prayer essentially, something of that sort. Work at the forge. Well, let's be here a craftsman and a holy man. It doesn't help you at all. Can I just simply sleep? Okay, virtue further increased. Let's pray. Having spent a bit of time in a camp, you gradually get to know and make friends with various people, including several other young men drafted for the militia. All of you have quite a lot in common, including the fact that, originating from poor families, you were forced to go to war without anything even remotely resembling decent weapons and armor. One of the guys, going by the name Bartholomew, and having a rather shady past, suggests you fix the situation and presents you with a plan. His idea is to borrow the necessary equipment from someone who is not in such a dire need as you. The guards of Castle Dunkirk, that is towering above your camp. According to Bartholomew, the men guarding the castle are guards in name only. They have been drafted from the surrounding countryside just as the war started, and they can barely tell which side of the halberd goes towards the enemy. Security is as bad as it gets, so sneaking into one of the armories in the far tower should be a piece of cake. Everything else would be figured out on site. Bartholomew claims he will take care of any locks that could be found there. So you just have to grab and carry away as much armor and weapons as you please. Several soldiers are rather impressed and willing to try. They already plan to pull it off this night. Bartholomew looks at you, and I refuse. I'm no dirty thief, you damn peasant. You refuse. The risk is too high, and it's not worth the trouble. Bartholomew seems displeased and promises you will remember this moment once you face ironclad French knights and armed to the teeth Flemish mercenaries. Before letting you go, he demands you keep your mouth shut, or else he will get back at you even from the grave, should you let out their plan. Virtue increased by 5. Reputation with soldiers decreased by 2. New quest added, Castle Haste. You have just received your first quest. All active quests and their descriptions are listed in okay. Okay, let's just talk with somebody. Soldiers hate me. But look at that virtue, where is it? Virtue, almost 20. 40 or higher. Praying or mortifying flesh will have a 20% chance to recover twice as much. Well, it's pretty good. 1 in 5. Good, what about here? 60 or higher. Praying or mortifying will have to heal an injury. And here? That doesn't seem too great. What about this? Doesn't have breakpoints. Do I have some talents? No. Well, I'm also without talents. Weapon talents. Oh, 0 talent points. So this is the family you got. I mean, polearm is good against foot soldier, but also some knights, right? Axes, I think, are the worst weapons. Maces would be good against somebody in heavy armor, but a short reach, I would say. And also the sort of what is it, flail? It's kind of dangerous weapon, unwieldy. Both to you and your enemy, and sword, of course, kind of useless against somebody in full play. So, I would say pole arms. So what else? Dart free. Oh, she doesn't like me. I'll use Cecilia. Such is life. Let's save it for now. And let's camp activities. What is it? Drink, work at the forge, gamble. Let's try gamble. You won 3 florins. Oh my. Let's talk to blacksmith now. Nice jobs, thanks for the help. See, job's easy and the money's good. Piece of cake. Come visit me again if you got nothing to do. There's always work to be done. XP for completing the quest, 20. I will consider it. So what's about repairing my equipment? Yeah, I almost forgot. Alright, give it here, your junk. But money first. These are horrible times we live in. Ain't a soul around you can trust. Especially when it comes to scrawny ragamuffins like you. I'm not a scrawny ragamuffin. Is that so? Well, Hoggart's not a ragamuffin either. And yet he still refused to pay. About 2 weeks back, the drunkard, parody of a knight, commissioned me to get him a chest for spoils and trophies. Since then, he's been constantly pushing me to get it done faster, even tried giving me advice. And guess what? Finally, I get the damn thing done, and fella refuses to pay. Inquire about the price. How much did Hogart promise you for the chest? We settled on 60 florins, but given the circumstances, I would happily part with it for even half that amount. The chest will act as your secondary inventory, which can be accessed from the main inventory when you're in camp. You can freely transfer any items between the two. I guess if he gives it for half, that's a strong invective to take it. Okay, buy chest. I buy it. You're serious. Well, that's great. You can have it. Ask about opportunities for better earnings. If you got any work for me, I would be ready to help out. I need some money. I have always got work, as long as you're not clumsy dork. Okay. Do you know what all clumsy dorks have in common? They all believe they're not. What on earth are you even on about? Didn't I just recently help you at the forge? I don't recall you having a single complaint. That work was a piece of cake. Anyone can do that. If you want to earn some proper cash, you've got to step up your game, son. Start using not only the hands, but also the tiny head of yours, which proves to be too hard for some people. If you're not up for some real work, then head to the forge and run some errands. But if you're ready, let me know. There's some real money to be made. I'm ready. I like your confidence. Well then, listen here. I've got a highly specific order. The customer wants a combined armor, a leather jacket with chainmail overlay. He wants it to be sturdy, too. Torso armor no lower than 10, and torso cover no lower than 90. Limbs also should be well protected. Limbs armor no lower than 6, and limbs cover no lower than 30. Finally, it has to look nice, 7 or more prestige. If you can craft one, I will buy it from you for whatever it's worth, plus an additional 70 florins as compensation for your efforts. In the crafting menu, you can combine different types of armor and helmets in order to create new items with improved characteristics. The result will be influenced by your craftsmanship skill. Approximately every 5 points of craftsmanship provide a new bonus. Items produced through crafting cannot be combined for a second time. Well, I have only crafting like 5, I believe. Well, I mean 2. That's pretty low then. If something improves, let's say, each 5 points, and provided there's, for instance, breakpoints, what would be the upper level? 20 for these physical attributes. Well, here we have hundreds, but I don't suppose this is in hundreds. Ah, here's my chest. The guy has nothing. Relationship. Renown. I'm back. Let's go to quest and travel. Let's be that guy that snitches out the others. I don't think so. Oh, that's, yeah, well, they might kill you, right? They can, especially in these medieval times. I think there's some. If you're just mean, they will throw a what do you call it, deck over your head, and then it would be over. Yeah, nobody likes rats, although frankly they are everywhere. So it's kind of. Well, doing nothing will give you nothing. If I refuse to go in for the haste, then I guess you will not get the reward potentially. But I feel like you can report them and get some reward, perhaps. Or if you do nothing, you get nothing. Let's try to report them. Damn peasants. Let's go character. Where are those guys? Where's the camp activities? Yeah, I guess to sergeant first. Well, he doesn't want to know anything. So about Errol. Also nothing. Well then. What about the blacksmith I talked about? Let's just pray then. Well, they don't like us. Hopefully they will promote us and this won't be problem. It will reset. Let's just here maybe train, right? Solo practice. No. Well. Skill me 20. What is it? Seem to be. Yeah, why would we go for very exhausting when we can do moderately exhausting? But do I have friend? Aha, this is the problem. Oh, this is the problem. Okay, skill limit 10. Let's go do solo practice. Oh, you are exhausted, really? I'll rest. And ground. Pray. Man, I need to train for the damn activity, for the damn combat. Skill improve and the guy is sleeping. Okay, let's rest then. Doesn't help you much. Alright, we can train some more, perhaps. Solo practice, at least get it to 5. For now, just hang around. Maybe start with a pray. Hang around. Hang around. Pray. Hang around. Hang around. Pray. Hang around. Okay, proceed. No, not save. What? I cannot save. Proceed. After spending about a week at the Castle Dunkirk, the army eventually begins its march to the southwest. Your regiment has been assigned to the advance guard led by the Knight son, Edward of Woodstock, the Prince. With about half a day's march separating him from the main force, Edward's main goal is to scout ahead and make sure there are no major French reinforcements in sight. Arriving in Cambrai, You see a large French convoy with supplies that is entering through the main gates. The town obviously has not been prepared to handle a long siege yet and stands vulnerable. The young prince, eager to prove himself to his father, chooses a daring move to try and take the city by charging through the yet open gates. Time is of the essence, so Edward leads the attack immediately. Prepare for battle, fall safe. On character, oh, it's my dude. Inventory, I have nothing else. I'll proceed. Concealed by the forest surrounding Canberra, the English managed to get close enough to catch the defenders by surprise. The prince spearheads the cavalry charge forward, crushing everything under them and breaking into the city. You and your fellow militiamen try to follow in their tracks as fast as you can, but the difference in speed is just too great. By the time you have finally got to the gates, there's already a large group of enemy soldiers, guards, and militiamen gathering to block your way. Oh, welcome to war! Very soon you will have to shed your first blood. But before you do this, it would be wise to get acquainted with the main principles of the Hatsville rules combat system. Tutorial, yes. Attack! This button is responsible for attacking with your main weapon. Upon clicking it, you will have to select the target to attack, a particular move to use, and lastly, a part of the enemy's body to target. Next. Detailed information about various strikes and their properties can be viewed by hovering over their respective icons. Launch increases your chance to hit enemies with longer weapons. The greater your reach, disadvantage gets, the higher bonus you receive. When selecting a body part to attack, hovering over the dice symbols will give you detailed information about the potential damage, as well as any additional effects on your strike. Limbs, damage multiplier, not great. Fatigue multiplier, not great. Head. The neck is most vulnerable, it seems. Whereas the body and limbs are pretty much the same. Yeah, the multiplier and body, so whatever. Well, it seems to either do limbs or neck and head. Another element that influences the hit probability is the current amount of stamina of the defending party. The higher this, the harder chance to dodge an attack. This only applies to the defending party. The attacker's stamina amount does not influence the hit probability. Feint. This button allows you to execute a feint with your main weapon. A feint is a deceptive move that distracts your opponent. A successful feint will drain some of the target's stamina while applying an attack accuracy debuff that lasts for one turn. The success of the feint also depends on the character's parameters. There are several types of feints, all of which operate in different ways and prioritize different stats. You can read more about them in their descriptions. Stances. This button is responsible for changing stances. Oh wow. Overall, there are 3 stances: offensive, defensive, and balanced. Offensive stance gives you an additional hit chance bonus in melee combat, but lowers your defensive capabilities. About the dodge. Chance and the shield block chance. Well, I have no shield. The bonus that this stance provides increases with your weapon skill. This stance also makes you susceptible to enemy feints. Defensive stance works in the opposite way. It increases your defensive capabilities, both the dodge chance and the shield block chance, but lowers your hit chance. The evasion bonus that it provides scales with your agility, but the shield block chance always remains a flat value. Compared to offensive stance, this stance provides slightly higher resistance to enemy feints. Balanced stance acts as a middle ground between the two. It gives no attack or defense bonuses, but also applies no penalties of any kind. This stance offers the best protection against enemy feints. Recover. This action allows you to recover stamina. The amount of stamina recovered depends on the character's condition. Information about your enemies will be located in the upper right part of the screen. Click their icons to see this information. This sums it up. Don't forget that your main task is to survive, and good luck with the crossbow. This button is responsible for actions with the crossbow, if your character has one. Shooting works a little bit different from melee attacks. The hit chance overlay depends on the character's crossbow skill and is additionally increased by the target's fatigue level. No other stats or parameters influence the outcome of the crossbow shot. Different types of bolts perform best against different targets. A crossbow loaded with a certain type of bolt can be freely reloaded with another type of any time. Some of the bolts shot during combat can be picked back up during the looting phase. So we have here militiaman. An inexperienced militiaman, nowhere near resembling professional soldier. Well, he has good strength, he has good coordination, which does what again? I might be good at stamina, prolonged battle. And he's fresh. What's this coordination? Can I check the inventory of my dude? Yes, that what is coordination. Stamina recovery. Throw accuracy, daggers, javelins. Yeah, I think we need to attack this guy immediately. Because he's better on stamina. Off chance, what is it? No, offensive stance. Crossbow, what is respawn? Crossbow. Base damage 5, armor penetration 3. Stamina shot. What costs for 40, isn't it? What's the damage again? Base damage only 5. And I need to get through 35. Man, that's so difficult. So I click on it said hover. Hover over stuff. Hover over this guy. I'm clicking left and right. Oh, let's attack. Not militiaman. Battery. Overhead strike. Isn't no shield. Overhead strike. Wow. Lamps. What is this? 100. Chance to bypass armor. Yeah, overhead strike to the head. Let's go. Oh wow, hit. Militia turns. Cripple lamps. Your turn. Attack, militiaman. Stamina costs 15. Now let's try butter. No. Let's go for neck now. Hit. -8. We'll recover. All offensive and defensive action will increase your fatigue level by an amount equal to your stamina spent on an action. There are 5 levels of fatigue: fresh, winded, tired, on last legs, and exhausted. To progress from one level to the next, you have to deplete 1 full stamina bar. The higher your maximum stamina, the lower your fatigue progresses. The first fatigue level, fresh, does not apply any penalties, but the next levels apply increasingly severe ones. Fatigue penalties lower the accuracy of all your offensive action, as well as your chance to dodge enemy attack. Please know that physical exhaustion can easily undermine any advantages that a character might possess in equipment and skills. A man who can barely move his feet will not perform well in combat against fresh opponents. Respite. This button is responsible for lowering your fatigue level in battle. The general principles of respite are similar to those of recover, and the amount of recovered fatigue also depends on your constitution. Oh, ended. Yeah, let's attack. No. Barter to the head. Not enough stamina. Attack. Militiaman. What do you mean not enough stamina? Should I respite too? We did nothing. It's also tired. Yeah, Vendit, what Vendit is. Let's get the neck. What do you mean not enough stamina? Let's go then defensive and respite. Well, he's just recovering and I get nothing. Yeah, here's nothing. Recover maybe. Hey. Oh, this is on Wimp. Did I never seen a greater Wimp? Let's recover some more. Shit. Okay. Attack. You have militiaman. Overhand strike. To the head, right? Okay. He lost all stamina. Did you see it? Yeah, he doesn't like that. Recover. Yeah, and now you will lose another attack. Overhead strike. Then let's try aggressive stance. Overhand, yeah, and we're hitting everything. Ooh, that hurts. Let's try to recover. Recover some more. Okay, now attack. Militiaman overhand to the And he's gone, skull shattered. Oh my god. I'm going to puke. Oh, there's another. There's two guys. Leg broken. Injuries. You and your opponent can attack each other body parts. Each body part has different damage multipliers. Different armor value and armor coverage, depending on the items worn, as well as different injuries associated with them. For example, successful strike to the limbs may result in a broken leg or damaged arm muscle, which lower agility or weapon skill, respectively. The severity of injuries depends on the strength of the attacker. Please know that most injuries inflicted on the player will be permanent until they are healed in camp. Man, what did he do? Break my leg. And he killed me almost. Recover. Shit. He will kill me here. For sure. Recover. Man, what is this about? I killed one guy, there's another. Flemish militiaman, overhead strike. Can't do nothing. Let's go with this. Need to try head, right? Knock him out or something. Wow. Well, it does no damage though. I think we might die here. You are killed in battle. So you are like supposed to defeat two at once. What a shit. Once alone. That's pretty shitty in introduction. Can you just run away? Well, maybe I should have fainted or something. Let's try the small ones, limbs. Blocked with a shield. Well, there's not limbs. Bleeding, okay. Duration only 1. Attack. Yeah, the limbs. I mean, it's just blocking it. He knows. Good that I played on this difficulty. I don't want to see harder if he got wasted on our first fight. What is he recovering all the time? I will get his knee and that's it. It's blocking all the time. Well, bleeding for 1 turn though, 2 turns. Ay ay ay. I have no stamina. Oh, poor dude is bleeding. Let's go defensive. I guess you need some equipment on this trash I have. Luckily missed. Let's go here aggressive. And builds up the fatigue. Let's surprise him now with Barter on a neck. Yeah, but with this crap. Gasping for air. Drop helmet. Can I pick it up? Fell recovery. I would like to end the whole fight recovered so we have stuff for next phase. Please don't kill me or something. Ah, a clone. Okay, let's try to finish him. I finished the hit to the body. Alright. Yeah, but there's another. Okay, there's not. Yeah. Returns? What is this for? I would like to save. Maybe we'll save scum here because first fight and I can't get through that. What is it for? Maybe I will just try to do here the feint. Blinds for one turn. Well, 33 only. Let's go with 70. Enemy formation is crumbling. The battle might be soon coming to an end. What? Minus 10? Ah, he fainted me. Oh, he's blind. What is it? No longer blinded. So, well, recover it. I will try to attack his body. Oh, did nothing. Shit. Okay, I need to survive here, as they said. Let's try another feint. Here. Success. So he's lost 10 of those. Around 25. Maybe you're supposed to survive as long as you can. Attack. Overhead strike to the neck. Come on. Oh. Unable to sustain your attack, the enemies are slowly giving in and soon begin to hastily retreat. With a pause in the action, you take a look around and see several bodies of your dead foes. Looting, especially during active combat, is generally frowned upon in the army. This, however, does not deter many soldiers, predominantly from poorer backgrounds, from pillaging their rivals' corpses. Their motives are easy to understand. In war, even a single piece of good equipment can make the difference between life and death. A small pause in a fighting allows you to loot the bodies. Okay, let's do that. Search. Oh no. No. A tiny token that is said to bring luck and good fortune. And get. And what is this? A simple wooden scabbard. Not the handiest of things to be carrying around on your waist, but it gets the job done. Oh, get it. When we are done. Prepare for battle again. Like, what is this garbage? I want to go home. Due to confusion, you managed to overcome the poorly organized defenders in a swift and rather hectic fight. Their tactical retreat into the walls quickly escalates to a chaotic rout. You storm into the town proper hot on their heels. Inside the walls, however, the situation is already changing. The prince's knights are struggling to hold against the superior numbers of the French, and slowly but surely are falling back towards the main gate. The prince could definitely use some infantry support, but rushing to his aid may prove to be a dangerous undertaking. Not willing to leave Prince Edward in danger, the Earl quickly calls for volunteers to join the rescue effort. The rest are told to hold the city gates for a safe retreat thereafter. It seems only seasoned and fierce warriors are joining the Earl. It's unlikely someone will point a finger if you refuse. Especially given that you are wounded and exhausted, barely able to even stand straight. This is clearly a good opportunity to prove yourself to the Earl, maybe even to the prince himself, but right now, on the other side of the scales lies no less than your own life, and the question is whether or not this is the time to risk it. Do you want to go with the Earl? No. You make the level-headed decision to stay at the gates. The Earl and the volunteers arrive just in time to prevent the French from encircling the prince's routine. The combined force of the two groups was just enough to fight their way back to the gates. The battered town defenders hesitate to give chase and instead settle with the status quo restored. As you fall back to safety and catch your breath, you are slowly filled with the proud realization that you have just managed to survive your first battle. While you come back to your senses and tend your wounds, the main force of the English army is steadily approaching the city. Columns of people, horses and wagons, all stretching for several miles flow from the horizon like an endless river, slowly pouring around the city from all sides. Having found a sergeant among the survivors, you ask him what will happen now. He responds with only one word: siege. Siege of Cambrai, city of Cambrai, Low Countries. Over the next few days, you watch as a new full-fledged city gradually grows all around the walls of Cambrai. Thousands of people, hundreds of tents and awnings, dozens of various siege and assault weapons, and long lines of convoys arrive every day from almost all directions. Hey buddy, how are you? I came to say hello and give cheers with my drink. Hey, what up? We're playing here a visual novel. A night in English army against the French. We were forcibly recruited, and our main task is just to survive, which will probably not be very easy. I got killed on my first encounter with the enemy, so also I have pretty much no equipment except for some cheap talisman, some wooden stick, and your chest, your manly chest. You would not dare to call all this a mere camp any longer. According to the sergeant, who is constantly aware of the going on, the king will not delay the siege. The success of the entire campaign depends on the speed of this attack, and any further delay will give the French a chance to thoroughly gather their strength. This is why the usual siege tactic, winning the city through a war of attrition, is not going to fly with Cambrai. Medieval survive, okay. You will survive, and then at 30 will die of plague. The surgeon says the assault should take place in about a week, when the siege engines are fully deployed and the rest of the reinforcements have caught up with the army. For now, all you can do is to take advantage of what peaceful days remain. You have received a salary in accordance with your rank, 65 florins. Alright, let's train some. Well, solo practice. Ah, you're exhausted. Can I somewhat... Training combat experience have positive impact on your skills. Good. Well, let's rest. Hang around. Well, it does not recover at all. Yeah, we need some better way how to recover this garbage. You know what you need? You need agility, buddy. And then you can do more stuff around. Which I have none. Well, I have some. Vitality. Stamina recovery. Well, it's just whatever. I have no talents. I have no talent points. Let's camp activities. Let's socialize with a sergeant. Okay, he doesn't want to tell you anything new. Nothing new. Let's go to trade. How much for this? 75. Well, leather doing. Can I? How much for this? Let's look at the crafting. Where's the crafting here? Craft armor. Item 1, item 2, well, tutorial. Well, I have enough in here. Recipe. Canteen, antidote, medicine, leather boots. You need 5 craftsmanship. What about some leather armor? Liquid depth. Oh yeah, leather sheet. Let's try that craftsmanship then. Quest and travel. Yeah, whatever. Well, character does not get any better here. We have full health at least. Inventory, so rabbit food, equip. Vitality +2, and this is what? Agility. What penalty? What penalty? Oh, here, agility. Alright, well, I still have no armor. It seemed to be an issue. Let's try to find something on where's the trade here? Not much for this. Yeah, let's buy that. A reinforced leather armor. Very respectable piece of equipment. what the best money can buy at this point. Sewing it. Okay, let's scabbard. A medieval or a treble baton. Well, not very good, I would say. Let's go to inventory and get this one. Oh, you get penalty. I will only use this in battle then. Let's go to do train harder. Yeah, so damn, his weapon proficiency increased, but no talents. Oh, talent point. Alright, no rest. Pray, and then hang around. 1, 2. Any soldier knows very well that one should always stay away from the authorities. And now you fully realize the truth of these words. Having accidentally caught the Earl's eye on one of the days, you immediately get called to him to receive a responsible task. The Earl says he is currently actively working on plans to infiltrate the besieged city, but the shortage of good alcohol in the camp is a serious threat to his strategic genius. When you timidly try to note that the army stocks are full of wine and ale, the Earl immediately silences you, stating that he is not going to drink this swill, and he needs something of a substantially higher quality. A good place to look for this something, in his opinion, would be the farmstead of the local nobility that have not yet been plundered. There in the cellars is supposed to be a supply of excellent wine. The whole thing, of course, should be done as quietly as possible and without attracting too much attention. You are not enthusiastic about this assignment, but it is what it is. It's not like someone's giving you a choice. In vino veritas, the truth in the wine. So Earl wants us to get alcohol or do cover-ups, well, kind of both. He wants us to steal for wine from French nobility. Well, let's done the rest. Okay, pray. Hang around, pray. And then talk to Errol maybe about wine. I have nothing. Yeah, he's not happy. Let's talk to Surgeon about that. Well, yeah, well, fire water. Let's try a save. And go for this quest. The Earl wants you to fetch him several bottles of wine. It's pretty easy to get your hands on various kinds of alcohol in the camp, however, considering the Earl's noble tastes and preference, he most likely will not be delighted by the idea of drinking the same booze as the regular soldiers. The solution might lie in paying a visit to some of the surrounding estates of the French aristocracy and convincing them to share the contents of their wine cellars. Well, travel then. The Lambert Estate. The Earl order leads you to the Estate de Lambert, one of the few places around Cambrai that is definitely not threatened by marauders and foragers. The estate is a group of fortified buildings in the rolling hills to the northwest of the city. Despite the fact that this clearly is not a full-fledged castle, By the way, I wonder how wine tasted in the medieval and even earlier times. Well, I was in Pompeii, and there they described the wine as being pretty sour, and tasted very differently from like today's wine. Yeah, in the age of ancient Romans, that was. So, well, the woman suggested it was not very good. Also, it was pretty cheap. So, well, do your own conclusion. For the most part, thanks to the imposing moat surrounding it, as well as short but thick walls. At the entrance to the drawbridge, you are stopped by the crossbowman standing on the wall, asking what the hell you need here. Yeah, I suppose so. Different times, different recipe, right? Yeah, I think she said something about storage. That the composition was influenced by storage. Also that it was basically their bread, their meal. But I don't remember it properly. I'm pretty sure it's well explained on some Wikipedia or AI. Yeah, what do you actually want here? The question kind of catches you by surprise. Quickly going over the answer option in your head, you decide what to say to the guards. Yeah, let's say. Trying your best to be as convincing as possible, you declare that you have arrived here on a confidential matter personally commissioned by His Excellency. However, judging by the sore faces of the crossbowmen, their knowledge of the hierarchy of the English nobility is rather poor, and they clearly do not fully understand the significance of your mission. Seeing that the matter is obviously reaching a dead end, you try to explain in a nutshell who exactly is the Earl, and why he, and therefore you, is a very important person, demanding a lot of respect. This time your words had a greater effect, and judging by the somewhat perked up faces of the guards, they begin to be imbued with some kind of respect for your new common code, friend Earl. So much so that one of the crossbowmen unexpectedly offers to make the Earl a small gift from the Lambert family, as well as personally from himself. Well, I think it will be poisoned here. A gift in the form of a crossbow bolt between the eyes. The guard states that he is ready to personally present it to the Earl if he decides to come here. Or, what is even more convenient, he continues, you, as a full-fledged confidant of such an important person, should be able to pass him the gift. With these words, the guard begins to load the crossbow. And belatedly, realizing that you are very much in trouble, you try to dissuade him from giving you the gift, but the hospitable Frenchman clearly insists. The moment the guard picks up the crossbow and aims at you, someone calls him off. A few seconds later, a young girl appears on the wall next to the crossbowmen, rudely reprimanding them for their arbitrariness. Luck check passed, well, at least that. Having carefully studied the unexpected guest, she gives the order to let you in. Ooh. Well, first of all, I think I should apologize for the reception my people almost gave you. However, given the intentions with which you and your friends arrived in my homeland, you should hardly be surprised at how you are greeted. I thought this would be something with a hint of historical accuracy or some kind of immersion. or at least semi-realistic depiction, but it seemed to be utter soap opera here. Well, however, okay, let's go. Respond in a cool manner. This war was started by kings and lords. I'm just a soldier and only follow the orders. She looks good, but Aniska will always be better. Yeah, Aniska always in our hearts. Yeah, this. What did she say? Damnation with you would be the greatest, the sweetest redemption. Yeah, Aniska, the one and only. I'm ready to swear to you that I have not killed and will not kill women, children, and the unarmed, for God is my witness. I do not thirst for blood. However, duty is duty. My honor obliges me to take part in my overlord's campaign, and I will have to shed blood to avoid disgrace, even against my will. Forgive me for my harshness. I understand that you ended up so far from home and with weapons in your hands, not by your own will. And I can see that you clearly are a worthy person. Relationship Eva improved by 5. Virtue increased by 5, man. What to say here? This seemed like a match. My name is Eva de Lambert. I'm the daughter of the Count Guillaume de Lambert, Guardian of Flanders. When the news of the arrival of the English army came, my father went to Paris to help King John form the army and left his governor in Cambrai under a promise that the city would not be surrendered. Well, in his absence, I had to become the mistress and protector of the family estate and its inhabitants. So what brought you here? Tell about our assignment, frankly. So, as I said, I'm here on a very serious matter. My boss, how can I put it? Yeah, they put no, like even trying to make it sound medieval or immersive at least. They use these modern words. Modern implication is just, yeah, why not do modern settings then? You can as well do this city in modern France and England, this story. He's going through an acute, in some gang, right? He's going through an acute, or do anime, whatever. He's going through an acute existential crisis, and only a couple of bottles of excellent wine can help him to cope with it. Huh? And this is your important assignment? I thought I acted as a hostess to a high-ranking messenger in my house, not a street beggar. But so be it. As a sign of my goodwill, I'm ready to share the contents of the Chateau de Lambert wine cellars, but only on one condition. I want you to promise that my family's lands and the villages around Cambrai will not be plundered and nothing will happen to their inhabitants. My fair lady, I beseech thee, my friend is in need of some bottles of the finest bottles. Yeah, I wonder, no, well seriously, I wonder how they would put this, how would they frame this in medieval? Right. But for that you would need to do some research, read bottles, then have some talent how to put it in a game. And then people would bitch anyhow. So I guess, well, this is what we get. I want you to promise. Okay, we cannot promise that. Knowing that my father is responsible for the defense of the city, I can say with confidence that you are stuck here for a long time. So sooner or later, the English king will start sending foragers around the neighborhood. Promise me that you will stand up for my people. Well, we always stand up for people. Promise. I promise. I will do everything in my power to protect them. And if I have to, I will give my life. I truly like the medieval speech in the vampire game. Yeah, I too. Unfortunately, that was only good at the beginning. And then they totally wrote off the Anishka and the love story. They totally put it in the background. And it only showed up in the end, pretty much. And also, once you got to the modern age, to London and New York, the charm of the game for me was gone. The Prague, the beginning was very good, but then it went downhill, I think, fast. Okay, the promise. Now we signed our own death warrant. I trust you, thanks. We barely know each other, but somehow I feel like I can trust you, as if you have something noble in you. Man. Well, in that case, I will be true to my word too. The contents of the Lambert estate wine cellars are at your disposal. I dare to hope that my generosity will serve as a reminder of this conversation to you and your lord. And you will not commit rash acts that could stain your hands and honor with blood. Such a shame. When I watched it, I was learning new English words. I mean the older era, which I liked. Yeah, I think the game began very good. The romance. I think even the gypsy or the blacksmith. The Prague was well done. But then... yeah, they introduced some weak-ass villain, this Orsi. And in London, it was just... they put there some crazy vampire that turned out to be some secret assassin. It was just shitty, frankly. Nothing like Aniska. I will be glad to see you as my guest again, and not necessarily on someone else announce. Oh, really? Your return to camp is uneventful. Let's go that clown. What was it? West? Socialized with the L. Well, about the wine. I got what you asked for. Here are several bottles of excellent French wine from one of the local chateaux. Great job, my boy. I saw you for the second time in my life, but for some reason I felt that I could definitely rely on you. And as you can see, I was not mistaken. Reputation increased by 10. I'll be honest, I had fools who cannot be entrusted with anything at all. But as it usually turns out, these fools make up the majority around here. I got to catch up with your streams with that game, but too much work and not much time for more, so I think it's not worth it. I think if you've seen the beginning, yeah, just watch the end, and really nothing happened in between. They just totally put Aneska into stage number 10. They buried her in the closet. Yeah, it was really strange. I didn't like it. I thought it would be more about her, since, you know, they both fell in love, and it seemed to be about them, essentially, the whole story. But it wasn't. I'll be honest, okay, I have that. It's nice to see that you're got the head on your shoulders. I will remember you in case I suddenly need a reliable person. And this is for your work. A cheap ass... Okay. Now piss off. Okay, 20 XP. Good. No, we are exhausted. No, I think you should just skip to the end. Because there's nothing. No. Or you can watch the cutscenes on the internet, and then you will get the whole idea. Okay, let's save it in here. And can we travel there again? Let's just rest, right? Oh, I have all. Oh, okay, let's try it then. Oh, train. We got scammed by arrow. Yeah, well, nothing to be too surprised about. Pray. Hang around, pray. Hang around, pray. And we go on a visit. Let's go to the promise. Travel here. She said we should visit. Oh, here we are. You again. Well, hello there. Is it me you're coming to visit, or are you on another very important mission? Came for thee. I came to visit you. Well, that's new. Alright, I find the cutscenes in your streams. I mean, the cutscenes, there's a YouTube video that has all the cutscenes. I was actually watching that because for me cutscenes were not working properly in the game, so I was watching during the stream, but appropriate, the cutscenes themselves. Eric the Red Hat, giant. He was quite funny and loyal at the beginning. Yeah, that guy. He actually turned into a monster and I had to kill him. Well, that's new. And what have I done to deserve such honor? Do not judge me too harshly. I just wanted to spend time with you, if possible. Okay, buddy, I got to go. I wish you a great stream. We will meet again soon, I hope. See you. Well, enjoy the rest of your day or night, most likely. And see you too. Bye. It is possible after all. What kind of a hot hostess am I if I put guests who came with good intentions out of the door? Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Ask about life at the Lambert estate. I noticed that your estate is living quite a busy life, even despite the war. Tis true. Many local villagers took refuge here after the arrival of the English and the subsequent foraging trades. My people and I guarantee protection to all subjects of the Lambert House and the French crown in general. Therefore, there are a lot of people who want to hide behind these walls. I see. And we also became the center of local commerce, since Cambrai was cut off from the rest of the province. People need money even during the war, while other material needs are not going away either, of course. That means that almost everyone who needs to buy or sell something regularly drops by. Take a stroll through our market square on the way back. Maybe you will find something useful to buy. Help out the locals with extra coin. New quest added, benefactor. I certainly will. Marauders do not particularly disturb us here, and we feel relatively safe so far. But who knows what will happen next? Ask about her father. You mentioned your father when we first met, something about him helping the French king raise an army. My father has been fighting the English all his life. first in Scotland, then in Flanders, then somewhere else. I hardly saw him when I was a child, because he was always on military campaigns, and each time he returned with new scars and wounds. I was afraid of him as a child. He seemed too rude and harsh to me. I didn't know what to do when I was around him. I didn't know what to do, what to talk to him about. My own affairs, problems, and worries seemed simply meaningless next to him. Would it be interesting to hear about my new dress for a person who has traveled around the world, crushed the armies of many thousands, and concluded treaties that decided the fate of kings and kingdoms? This story could easily have come to a bad end, but as I grew up, we found a common ground. Looking at him, I learned to distinguish good from evil and truth from falsehood. I have learned a lot from him, including love for my own country. If the Lombard estate had not turned into shelter for hundreds of refugees, the concern for the life and safety of whom fell on my shoulders, then, make no mistake, I would have been defending Cambrai with a sword in my hand. And I would be happy to die for my country, for my family, and for my king. Man, this is not very well written girl, I think. And you, Centurion? I don't want to die. I don't want to die for my country. I want my enemies to die for theirs. I think this is like paraphrasing Churchill. This is the first time I'm hearing something this bluffing from a knight. Hasn't dying for your faith, land, and crown always been considered the greatest honor a warrior can hope for? When death comes knocking on your door, don't be in a hurry to answer. This is what my father used to say. And these are the words I live by. I see. Well, things do not seem to be a little different beyond the Kalai. Your fear of death shouldn't surprise me, I guess. You talk about the death a lot. Especially for someone who has only seen war in drawings on the pages of manuscripts. Oh, what's the matter? Did I hurt your feelings? If you find our little conversation unpleasant, you are free to go. I'm not holding you hostage in my house, or in my country for that matter. Trade. Do I have something? Let's buy a sewing kit. A cross? Let's buy a cross. Only 25. Do I have money? Promoted poster, what the hell is this? Oh, it would be nice. What is this? And it can be used as both corporal punishment and mortification of one flesh. The latter is seen as a way to... I want this. Come on. Do I have money? I want this. How much for a poster? I'll buy it. An inventory. Let's use it. Equip. Not without equip. Will this give me anything? Alrighty, I have 33. Nothing to say. Oh, she doesn't like me anymore. No, it's train. It's maybe let's talk with the sergeant, with the earl, maybe. You have nothing to talk about. Blacksmith. Also nothing. What about travel? $150. Yeah, I need money. Camp activities, hangout, socials. Well, what about... I have a virtue, look at that. What about that bandits? Let's talk to her. I hear you are one of those who participated in the attack on a city where your young prince almost died. Is he okay? They say that he managed to break out of the encirclement, but was allegedly badly wounded. He's fine, the Earl saved him. The Earl and his men come to his aid, and he got out of safe and sound. Oh, crazy a deal. Although, I won't lie, I would not mind treating the prince's wounds, if there were any. But what am I talking about? Thank you for those news. You can go now. Before you can say a word, the girl turns around, making it clear that the conversation is over. Okay, train. Let's train solo practice. Now, of course, straight out. Hang around. Pray. Can I work at a forge? You have 5 florins. That's a steal. According to the king's plan, the success of the upcoming assault will be ensured by several dozen different siege machines, trebuchet, catapults, siege towers, and battering rams. Their construction obviously requires not only time, but also a large amount of effort, and therefore many soldiers are involved in this work every day. This fate does not pass by you either. Try to dodge the work so you don't waste time on it. Not wanting to waste precious time on grueling work, you try to dodge it. Fortunately for you, your trick works, and you are completely forgotten and left to yourself. Good. Solo practice. No rest. Oh, I'm working here. Now let's pray and ground. Pray. Uncertainty conditions in the camp spark a disease outbreak. Vitality lowered by 1. Toxicity increased. Let's go to physician. Toxicity. A long-term damage to your health that lowers your survivability, making you a way easier targets for the enemies. Injury chance increased by 40. Incoming damage increased by 1. Oh man, I don't have money. Can I sell stuff? Yeah, sell. Let's go to physician. Yes. No injuries. Doing something very strange, she walks back and forth from one chest to another, muttering something under her breath and clearly not knowing what to do. I'm thinking I'm going insane. What's the matter? My things have started to disappear over the past few days. Things? Medicine. I have never been particularly observant person when it comes to those things. And at first I blamed everything on my own forgetfulness, or thought it was just an accident. But the level it has reached is not funny anymore. When things disappear without a trace on such a large scale, the matter can no longer be attributed to simple forgetfulness. I'm afraid I have to ask you for help. Anything you want. I'm pretty sure someone is just stealing from my stock. I usually notice the loss in the morning, so whatever this mysterious thief is, he apparently prefers to act at night. I will deal with it. You can count on me. What? At night you take up a secluded position near the part of the infirmary where Cecilia and her men store medical equipment or supplies. At first nothing happens, however, around midnight you notice a suspicious figure sneaking around in the shadows. An unknown person sneaks up to the infirmary and starts fiddling with the lock, stealthily looking around and trying to remain unnoticed. In an effort to catch him red-handed, you wait until he opens the lock and goes in. You follow him inside and find him stuffing his bag with all kinds of medicine. When he sees your menacing figure, his eyes are immediately filled with genuine terror. However, when asked as why he steals, he tells you a story for which you are not ready. According to the thief, he steals medicines not for himself, but for one of his comrades, who was seriously injured during a recent attempt to break into the city. He fought bravely and was butchered by the French during the fight. But now, instead of receiving full-fledged medical care, he has to lie on a simple mat and be content with prayers, since all the doctors and their resources go straight to the knights and their soldiers from among the wealthy. Now the poor man clings to life only thanks to the help of his friends, who bring him medicine from wherever possible. The thief begs you to let him go so he can help his friend. Take away what he stole and kick him out empty-handed. Yeah, no time for sob stories. Despite his pleas, you stay adamant, and after taking the stolen from him, send the thief away, warning him that if you notice the loss of supplies again, you will find him and beat his arse. First thing in the morning, you tell Cecilia about what happened, though you say nothing about the thief's story and motives. She thanks for your help. Okay. But then asked why he was doing this. Tell her the truth. You tell her the second part of that story, after which she seemed to be confused and says that it's the first time she hears that the Royal Army treats any wounded in this way, even if it's ordinary soldiers. According to her, the knights are indeed the top priority for doctors, but that does not mean that everyone else is simply left to die. She thanks you for your help, but this matter, however, the conversation clearly leaves Cecilia in a bad mood. And you begin to feel guilty as well. Relationship lowered by 5. Virtue decreased by 10. Oh, let's train. Solo practice. It was very hard. Yeah, well, where is it? Installments. Yeah, I have only crap, I believe a mace. Level 4, yeah, increase by 5%. What a you like in these which weapons where you get a new weapon and it has increased damage by 2%, like really. What a trash. Now let's rest. We have to atone for our terrible sins. On one day you are unexpectedly called by a surgeon who asks you to help him with one important matter. You need to deliver water to one of the distant outposts covering the western part of the city. This direction is considered not particularly promising in terms of siege. Moreover, there are no large gates, and therefore there is only one relatively small detachment. The problem, however, is that in the past few days the French made several sorties in that direction and, among other things, attacked one of the couriers, delivering messages from the detachment. All this apparently is just a diversionary maneuver, and to transfer large forces to the western side of the city means to follow the French lead, weakening the more promised direction. Thus, the western detachment will not get reinforcements, however, it is still necessary to supply it and also maintain contact with it. Therefore, a reliable person is needed who can be assigned the role of a courier for a short time. Your task is to safely get to the western outposts, give them a letter with instructions from the command, as well as a load of drinking water. The sergeant gives you the letter and tells you to come to him to get water later when you're ready. The luggage may turn out to be quite bulky, so it would be handy to pick up some kind of bag. However, the sergeant himself can give it to you as well. The sergeant also warns you that the road may be not the safest. However, be sure that the surroundings territories are, at the very least, still patrolled. Therefore, in the event of a French attack, you would simply need a holdout before armed help arrives. New carts and caravans with all kinds of provisions and equipment arrive at the siege camp every day. In order to manage unloading and sorting out what was brought to warehouse, the quartermasters overwhelmed with worries, have to take one of the ordinary soldiers who are not engaged in other work to their aid. One day they come across to you. You are sent to sort out stocks in one of the food and equipment warehouses. The work is not too hard, but rather monotonous, and the quartermaster in the charge of the warehouse now and then leaves for all sorts of business, leaving you to yourself. Poking around in countless bags and boxes, you inevitably notice that much of the contents could be neatly pocketed and no one would even notice. And the fact that the warehouse, packed to the capacity with all kinds of goods, is intended to supply the knights and their entourage, while you and your comrades of not such a noble origin are cared for not even half as much, only adds weight to your idea. Ordinary soldiers from your entourage would be more than grateful if, so to speak, for a short while, they would be invited to visit. However, dark deeds love silence, and if you can grab a couple of things for yourself relatively safely, then a large-scale theft has a high chance of being noticed and getting you severely punished. Yeah, take a few things for yourself. After giving it some thought, you decide that the king's knights, some of whom are already having difficulty climbing up on their horses due to excess weight, will not become impoverished if you pocket a couple of things. After waiting for the quartermaster to once again leave for some urgent business, you go on a hunt. We take only this garbage, water skin. Oh, what's for the best weapon, best money? Okay, let's take a water skin. Here, medicine. I thought maybe some, we would get some. Well, inventory, equip this. Equip. Medicine. Here, equip. Get. Oh, it's crafting item. Proceed. Returning back, the quartermaster does not notice anything, and you completely get away with this small theft. And the only thing you have to pay for the deed is remorse. Not good. How do we look with that fate? Let's rest. We need to pray a lot now. Our sins are too great. Okay, well, let's go back. Visit her. Offer your help. The knighthood obliged me to ask if I can help you with something. I'm completely at your service. Oh, how sweet. Do I look the desperate too? You are walking on thin ice, Sir Knight. However, I'm not going to lie. At the moment, I would really appreciate someone's help. Can I be of help? The fact is that during one of the recent moves, I lost my sword. Don't look at me like that. I understand that for a warrior, sword means much more than just a sharpened piece of iron you can stab someone with. However, I'm not a warrior. I have a huge luggage full of much more important things than this piece of iron, from medicine and tools to the autumn collection of Venetian dresses. But what I was even talking about, we are right in the middle of a military campaign, and the French now regularly make sorties from the besieged city. Everyone around me is trying to assure me that I'm absolutely safe here, but I can hardly believe it, and the possibility of being in the thick of some battle without a weapon scares me a little. Obviously, I'm not going to participate in anything like this, and your military affairs do not concern me, but I will not be sincere if I say that I will not feel safer with the sword. I hope you understand exactly what I'm asking of you. You won't need a weapon, I swear, to protect you. Cecilia, you don't need a sword. You have me. I vow to protect you from any danger and to fight for you to the last drop of my blood. Oh, please stop it. I have already heard some more assurances, and from much more imposing knights. I don't need your vows. I need a sword. Of course, we'll get your sword. I will be very grateful. I will certainly return the favor. Well, then I'm supposed to get a sword. Quest and travel. Let's visit the lady. Well, hello. Okay, nothing here. Then we will train. Solo practice. And of course, no, I need to rest a lot. Alright. Alright, the sergeant patiently waits until you finally decide to fulfill the task of delivering the letter and water to the western outpost, but gives up and sends another person there in despair. He tells you that through your slowness you have greatly let him and the Earl down. Aye. Well, whatever. Let's rest pray. No, what about another story event? Yeah, let's just keep praying. Okay, proceed. Character. I didn't get much. I still have this garbage only. And a poster with a bandit. Oh, let's do it. So far, this game did not impress me. I expected some medieval immersion. It seemed to be very dry. And the combat is garbage. Well, we'll see. At the appointed hour, the whole camp is set in motion and your eyes are presented with a both great and terrifying spectacle. The volley of dozens of trebuchets, and catapults unleashing a relentless avalanche of boulders on a city provide cover to the hordes of soldiers rushing towards the fortress walls. The whistle of arrows, the crash of projectiles, the beat of war drums, the howl of trumpets, and the scream of over 1,000 voices merge into a single deafening cacophony in which you can no longer tell any sound apart. Being in the thick of the assault, you, mere minutes after the start of the attack, can no longer distinguish separate sounds in this surrounding hum that echoes in your head. An endless rain of arrows and crossbow bolts pour on you from the city walls, only growing stronger the closer you get to the city. Injured and slain comrades are falling beside you left and right, and you too get hit by one of the French arrows, leaving a shallow but painful wound. When you finally get to the city walls, a hail of stones rains on you from above. One of the heavier stones lands directly on your fellow soldier's helmet, barely 2 feet away from you. He falls to the ground as blood trickles down his face. Assisted by several other soldiers, you drag him away. The poor fellow, though still breathing, appears to be unconscious and could fall prey to enemy archers at any moment. If you leave him lying just like that, that would most likely be his death sentence. Luckily for him, the sergeant happens to be nearby and covers the injured with his shield. As you try to catch your breath, you look around for the ladders that should already be in place, or that was the plan anyway, as they are nowhere to be seen. While you continue searching, trying to make sense of anything in the clouds of dust and smoke enveloping you, a chaotic fight ensues. Taking full advantage of the state of disarray, a group of enemy soldiers emerges from the haze and attacks your troops. Oh my god, this looks hardcore. What is this fella? French footman. One of many professional soldiers who make up the bulk of the army. Let's try some paint. Here. Blind for one turn. Success. He sees nothing. What? The guy is stunned. So we have one guy blind, second is stunned. This doesn't look good. Defensive stance. Let's go with feint. I hear miss. Yeah, what a garbage. Oh, it's giving me a hard time. I think we will go down. Yeah, just get defensive and that's it. Ah, the guy missed. Well, we will do another feint. So what happened? He's without eyes. Now let's go with an attack. A high swing. Oh, let's go on neck. Okay, got some damage to at least. Let's go defending. Recover. Let's try another feint. Okay. Oh, what? 90 failed us. 90 failed us. Unbelievable. Reduced recovery. Feint. Okay, he's without the eyes. Now let's attack his neck again. What? That was very unfortunate. Some wimp guy. No! Finally, the fella missed. Let's do a feint. Okay, he sees nothing. The enemy attack seems to be stiff. The battle might be soon coming to an end. Well, not here. Man, he's blocking with the shield even though he's blinded. Is this a joke? On last legs? What the hell? Same then. Maybe that's why he's missing all the time. The daring sortie of the French fails to push you back from the walls. And the attackers could not grind down your troops in time, and soon find themselves surrounded by arriving reinforcements who overrun them. You get a short breather. Oh my god. So far I'm not very excited by the game. Writing is not very immersive. And the battle is what? I thought maybe, you know, there will be simply if you manage to land a hit in a neck, the guy would be gone simply. And it seemed to be some kind of a D&D dice rolling with the hit points. Let's proceed. The defenders keep throwing stones and shooting arrows at you. But the shower of missiles seems to be dwindling. The siege engines sing for their super well enough, shattering the walls with every hit. With the arrival of reinforcements, the siege ladders finally make an appearance as well, and by Northampton's order, they are immediately propped against the walls. In an attempt to encourage the men, the Earl promises a handsome reward, as well as doubled share of spoils to the first soldier who sets foot atop the walls. Despite this generous offer, you fellow militiamen seem to have little enthusiasm for the idea. Stay a little behind and try to survive, yes. You are not about to lead a suicidal attack, so you make a way for several other daredevils willing to be on the first to go. However, climbing the wall is neither easy nor safe even in a second wave. Yeah, I would say so. All other thoughts fade from your mind as heavy rocks fall from above. You evade the first projectile, but the next one is well aimed and heads straight towards your face. Without a shield, all you can do is to use your hand for cover, which bears the brunt of the blow. Judging by the sudden sharp pain, your hand has been seriously damaged by the impact, still you manage to stay on the ladder. Health decreases by 5. Several of those who followed you are not as fortunate, however, losing their grip from the impact and knocking down other allies in the process. Their screams urge you forward, and a few moments later you set foot atop the wall, where several English soldiers are already fighting the defenders. Oh my god, there's 2. Oh, there's 2 of us too. Is he behind me? English soldier. Hardened militiaman. Experienced militiaman. Unlocked legs, and the guys are fresh. What is this garbage? Well, basically just what is respawn? Oh, here, okay. Of course he missed. Okay, they attack him at least. Respawn maybe. Deep cap. Yeah, these guys are also kind of. They had too much ale, it seems. But look at that, the fatigue, yeah, but if I do respite, it's only like 4. It solves nothing. Whom did they cut? Oh, this guy. Well, I can't do nothing. I'm on last legs. If he gets... just trying to survive for it. They hit whom? Okay, that guy. It's basically you against them, buddy. Oh, he's doing faint. No, he was fainted. And I'm glad I didn't go for a heart, because it's, first of all, boring, second of all, pretty poorly done here. And third of all, pretty hard. It seemed to be just like... yeah, I should get better equipment. But why are you even here? If you're some peasant with nothing, why would you put yourself in here? Maybe if he killed one, the other would run away. Yeah, but even he's only tired now, though, doing nothing all day. They are winded. Well, this guy will go down, and that's a bad news. He's bleeding. Ah, 4 turns. That guy's gone. And then I'm going to... Could you not heal yourself? English soldier is killed. Run away, man. Tart. I'm also tired. Is this for round 11? Is this forever? Okay, they do nothing. At least they're missing 75. I'm still more tired than them, by the way. They will hit you eventually. Is there no end to this garbage, like, on itself? Yeah, let's say they won. You cannot even run away from a battle. 92. Only winded. Which can soon change. They're missing. Wow. How come they're missing so much? On last legs. Okay, fail. Oh, that might be bad. Need to survive here 1 turn. Okay, luckily they didn't do anything. Would it... Are you supposed to, like, defeat them both or what? Oh, winded. Nah, I'm not interested in this combat much. It seemed like some cards or something, I don't know. Yeah, it does not even seem like if you have some luck, you would simply one-shot them. Exhausted. Is it our time to maybe know the end? Once both are exhausted. Yeah, around 25 and what? Okay, and they're recovering. I'm missing every single one. He's fresh. The situation on the battlefield is shifting. The battle might be soon coming to an end. They both have shield. Let's try to recover here. Okay, I will try to attack them too, since they're all exhausted. This guy. Let's try this. Wow. Throat cut. He's gone. Okay, let's do an additional attack. Overhead strike. Oh, the guy is gone. Oh my god. So maybe there's something to the fighting. Actually. So I got a 1. Let's just recover. The course of the battle gradually changes. The confident onslaught of the English, which allowed you to take over a large section of the wall, is now slowly but surely fizzling out. The French, on the other hand, thanks to the constant flow of reinforcements, begin to push even harder, threatening to throw you off the wall very soon. Right in the heart of the battle, you spot a tall knight leading and cheering the French soldiers. Confidently wielding his halberd, he fights with such fury, as if he intends to win the battle just by himself. Several of your comrades rush at him, but one by one they all fall dead from his heavy blows. Don't risk it, sure. Despite the fatigue and exhaustion, you remain clear-minded and see that you are not a match for a foe like that, especially after everything that you have been through today. Seeing victory slip out of hands, your allies begin to pull back. Those closer to the ladders and siege towers hurriedly descend, while others are trying to slow down the French advance and cover the retreat. Try to retreat as soon as possible, saving your life, yes. Realizing that things are about to go south and it's every man for himself, you lead the retreat and flee the wall among the first. Oh my. You manage to return to the camp safe and sound, but this action does leave a strain on your reputation. At the camp, it becomes evident that all attempts to take the town with the same result. English troops attacked the walls from several directions simultaneously, which was supposed to disperse the defending force, but none of the attacking parties managed to achieve a decisive breakthrough. Heavy fighting took place at several sections of the wall at once. Some watchtowers were captured, but none of the attacks could build further success. At the camp, you see disgruntled knights and lords, as well as hordes of injured soldiers, while the smoking but yet impregnable town walls dominate the background. You can't shake the thought that you might be stuck here for some time. Chapter 2. Going nowhere slow. After the disaster's almost catastrophic assault, the entire camp plunges into licking its wounds. Almost all units in the Royal Army suffered substantial losses. Your squad is no exception. This battle has cost you more than a dozen men dead or wounded. The king, who is crossed as two sticks, is rumored to have cast all the blame upon the lords and their uncoordinated actions, who did not bother with mutual support and simply sought an opportunity to capitalize on the other's success so as to pop up in the right place at the right time and take all the credit. As a result, the most battle-worthy and elite troops have wasted most of their time waiting for the right moment to arrive at the tipping point of the battle. Such indecisiveness has caused several missed opportunities, including the foothold that you were able to acquire at one of the walls. Now the king and his inner circle delve into planning another, more elaborate attempt to take Cambrai, leaving nothing to chance and someone's self-will. The Earl and the Prince, eager to prove themselves before the king, delve into laying out a cunning plan to penetrate the town walls. You have received a salary in accordance with your rank, 65 florins. You received a bonus payment in accordance with your prestige level, 8 florins. Oh, here we are. Training and combat experience have a positive impact on your skill. Strength, agility, endurance, coordination, vitality, and weapon skill increase by 1. I'll save it here. I think I did good. Also, but I'm not sure you run for your life. And they somehow pin it all on evil, like with that prestige. It also suggested that half of the squad was killed, right? Which I don't know how it's in a medieval time, but I've seen normal unit. If the half squad is down, then it's not good for anything. It's only usable for defense, but for any other tactics, I think, official doctrine, it's not usable. Certainly not for offensive action. So we got wasted there. You run away, and then you suffer reputation damage. By whom? By the survivors who did the same, or by the dead who obviously cannot complain. That's really strange. Yeah, gameplay, game systems, I get it, but the logic of it is escaping me. Now, what to do? Train. Let's go to here, or socialize, blacksmith. Nothing. Socialize with Sergeant. It's just nothing new. I thought it would be more focused on these various people. That they would have at each story event they would have something to say. Well, probably not. So let's visit physician. You find Cecilia extremely displeased and annoyed. What's wrong? I don't know what to do. I have so many wounded, but I cannot help them with anything, you understand? There's nothing I can do. Due to the overabundance of casualties during the last 2 assaults, we started to have serious problems with medical supplies. I have a lot of dying people in my care, but there's simply nothing to treat them with. The king's people say that the new carts are already on their way, but how long till they get here? One or at the most 2 more days, and half of all those who I'm quite capable of saving now would be dead for sure. And I didn't come here to be gravedigger or mortician. I can save those people, but I just have no medications to make it happen. All I want is to do my job. I understand that it seems like I'm asking too much, but perhaps you will be able to help somehow. Any medicines and drugs that you can get with surely save someone's life. And I will be forever grateful to you. I'm afraid I'm not able to help. I cannot help you. I understand, after all, these are strangers whose lives are of no value to you. I have no right to force you. Okay. Now let's visit the other one. Where was it? Oh, haste. There's some haste. Scavenge. I didn't see this before. Oh, virtue. Characters gain access to the haste. I don't want. Do we have really such a low virtue? Oh, I don't want that. No, what happened? I was praying all the time, now I'm a lowlife who's stealing around. Unbelievable. No. What else? Travel. What was this scavenge? You get what? You get out of a camp and go to the surrounding forest to replenish your supplies, heading towards the unknown. Adventures lying ahead. During your walk through the forest, you come across a group of hunters from the local community. They turn out to be very friendly and even offer some valuable crossbow shooting tips as you hunt together. Okay, nice. I'll proceed. Spoils of war. Get only 15. What about leather? 6, 3, 7. Whatever, proceed. On your way back, you pass by a tiny village, which is in the process of being pillaged by a gang of marauders. The horrified villagers are begging for the help. Group of soul refuse. Unwilling to get dragged into such a predicament, what? You refuse. The rest of your way back goes smoothly without any more adventures. You like if it's group and you're alone. Okay. Question travels. Let's visit the lady at least. Again, well, hello there. It's me, it's you. Well, nothing really. Well, just survive. I'm trying to survive. I think I'm doing a good job at that. But we just need items. Regardless, well, we will stop it here. And I guess we'll continue because I like the how it describes the events when we, in the war, the immersion of some sort of besiegement and the shifting fortunes of these skirmishes, and also that you get simply diseases around here. Yeah, that draws me into the game more than anything else. But I don't like that our virtue, we came from literally saint to be, where is it even? Where's that character? Minus 15. Oh, it's very sad. We need to pray a lot. There's some fucking peasants who get wasted by bandits, and you're alone, are supposed to do their vote. And 30 hit on a virtue. That's just weird. Like today, would you go somewhere fight, I don't know, 3 guys who are robbing stores because, who have knives or something, and because you're an honest person? Well, probably not. And would you suffer reputation damage for that? Well, police should, right? It's their job to prevent that. Regardless, well, thanks for watching, and bye. It has no voice.